The way you see yourself is the script you hand to the world. Every action you take, every word you speak, every boundary you enforce is a signal to others about how they should treat you. If you place little value on yourself, if you allow disrespect to slide, if you compromise your worth for temporary acceptance, people will take that as permission to treat you in ways that diminish you. But when you hold yourself with dignity, when you walk with the quiet assurance of someone who knows they deserve respect, you set a standard that no one can lower. Self-respect is the foundation of every relationship, whether personal or professional. It is the invisible crown you wear, the silent message that says, "I know who I am and I know what I deserve." It does not shout, it does not demand, it does not beg. It simply exists in the way you carry yourself. People notice it, whether you speak or not. They see it in your posture, they hear it in your voice, they feel it in the choices you make, and once they see it, they adjust their behavior accordingly. When you respect yourself, you no longer settle for crumbs when you know you deserve the feast. You no longer tolerate disrespect disguised as affection, manipulation disguised as care, or neglect disguised as busyness. You draw a line in the sand, not out of arrogance, but out of clarity. You know your value, and you refuse to compromise it. This is not selfishness. It is self-preservation, because if you do not guard your own dignity, no one else will. It is easy to confuse self-respect with pride or ego, but they are not the same. Pride demands attention, ego seeks validation, but self-respect requires neither. Self-respect is quiet. It does not need to prove anything to anyone. It is rooted in the unshakable truth that your worth is not up for negotiation. It does not rise and fall with compliments or criticism. It is steady, constant, and unwavering because it comes from within. Think about how you speak to yourself. The words you use in your own mind matter more than you realize. If you constantly tell yourself that you are not enough, if you criticize yourself harshly for every mistake, you are lowering your own standard. You are teaching yourself to accept less. But when you speak to yourself with kindness, when you celebrate your progress instead of only seeing your flaws, you reinforce your worth. That self-talk shapes your actions, and your actions shape the way others respond to you. Boundaries are one of the strongest expressions of self-respect. They are not walls meant to shut people out, but gates that decide who has the privilege of access to your life and on what terms. Boundaries communicate what is acceptable and what is not. Without them, people will push, test, and sometimes take advantage. With them, you teach others that your time, energy, and heart are valuable resources not to be wasted. The person who respects themselves enough to set boundaries is the one who receives respect in return. Self-respect also influences the opportunities you attract. When you carry yourself with confidence, when you make decisions from a place of worthiness instead of desperation, you draw in people and situations that reflect that energy. Opportunities come more often to those who believe they deserve them. Respect attracts respect. When you honor yourself, the world mirrors it back. But building self-respect is not easy. It requires courage to walk away from people who cannot meet your standard. It requires strength to say no when every part of you fears rejection. It requires patience to wait for what you deserve instead of settling for what is convenient. Many people choose the easy road of compromise, lowering their standards for temporary comfort, but that comfort always comes at the cost of long-term dignity. True self-respect means being willing to endure loneliness rather than tolerate disrespect. It means trusting that your value does not decrease just because others fail to see it. Self-respect is not only about how others treat you, but also about how you treat yourself daily. Do you keep the promises you make to yourself? Do you care for your body, your mind, your spirit? Do you pursue your goals with discipline, or do you abandon them at the first sign of difficulty? Every time you honor your word to yourself, you strengthen your self-respect. Every time you break that word, you weaken it. Respect begins within. When you can trust yourself, you send a powerful message to the world. I am someone worth trusting, worth respecting, worth valuing. Consider the people who inspire you, the ones you naturally admire. More often than not, what draws you to them is not only their success, but their self-respect. They know their worth. They walk into a room with presence, not because they are the loudest, but because they carry themselves with a confidence that cannot be faked. They don't chase approval, they attract it by being authentic and unwavering in who they are. That same energy is available to you when you decide to honor yourself in the same way. Self-respect is also contagious. When you respect yourself, you give others permission to do the same. You raise the standard not only for how people treat you, but also for how they treat themselves. You become an example of what it looks like to live with dignity, and in doing so, you inspire those around you to elevate their own lives. Respect, like disrespect, is learned behavior. When you demand it of yourself, others begin to demand it of themselves as well. There will always be people who test your boundaries, who challenge your worth, who try to diminish you in order to feel bigger themselves. This is inevitable, but self-respect equips you with the strength to stand firm. You don't need to argue, you don't need to convince, you don't need to beg. You simply remove yourself from what does not honor you. That decision alone is more powerful than any words. Silence and distance are often the strongest expressions of self-respect, because they show that you value yourself too much to waste energy on what is beneath you. Living with self-respect means carrying yourself as though you already wear the crown. Not a crown of superiority, but a crown of dignity. It is invisible, but it changes everything. How you speak, how you walk, how you interact. When you believe you are worthy of respect, you stop chasing validation and start attracting it. You stop begging for love and start commanding it. You stop shrinking to fit into places that cannot contain you and start building spaces where your presence is celebrated. This crown is not given by anyone else. It is not earned through titles, possessions, or appearances. It is claimed the moment you decide that you are enough as you are, that your worth is not conditional, and that your value is not negotiable. And once you put it on, once you carry yourself with that kind of self-respect, no one can take it from you. They can try to ignore it, they can try to challenge it, but they cannot erase it, because it lives within you. When you respect yourself, love becomes healthier, relationships become stronger, opportunities become clearer. You no longer cling to what diminishes you, because you know you deserve what empowers you. You no longer stay in places where you are tolerated, because you seek places where you are celebrated. You no longer accept half-hearted effort from others, because you know your worth requires more than scraps. This is the transformation that happens when self-respect sets the standard. Every day you are teaching people how to treat you. Every moment, every decision, every action is part of that lesson. If you want to be treated with respect, you must model it. If you want to be valued, you must show that you value yourself. If you want to be honored, you must first honor your own life. The world is simply reflecting the example you set. So, walk tall, speak with clarity. Love yourself deeply, protect your boundaries fiercely, treat yourself as someone worthy of kindness, respect, and admiration, because the moment you do, you will notice a shift. The people who cannot meet your standard will fall away, and the ones who can will rise to meet you. Life has a way of aligning itself with the energy you project, and when the energy you project is self-respect, you will always find yourself surrounded by people and opportunities that mirror that same truth. Confidence is not about walking into a room and thinking you are better than everyone else. Confidence is walking into a room and not needing to compare yourself to anyone at all. It is the calm, steady belief that who you are is enough, that your presence has value, and that you deserve respect without begging for it. People can sense confidence long before you open your mouth. They notice it in the way you carry yourself, in the way you make eye contact, in the tone of your voice, and in the energy you project. True confidence is magnetic, and because it is magnetic, it naturally commands respect. Respect is not something you chase. The harder you try to force others to respect you, the more desperate you appear. Real respect is earned not through demands but through presence. When you carry yourself with confidence, you don't have to ask for respect. People offer it to you willingly because they recognize strength when they see it. They see that you are not easily shaken, that you do not crumble under pressure, and that you believe in your own worth. That belief is contagious. It makes others believe in you too. Confidence is not the absence of fear or doubt. It is the decision to move forward despite them. Everyone feels nervous before taking big steps. Everyone questions themselves at times. Everyone worries about failing. The difference is that confident people refuse to let those feelings control their actions. They acknowledge the fear but step forward anyway. They may stumble, they may fall, but they carry themselves with the assurance that failure is not final and that mistakes are part of the journey. That courage to act, even when uncertain, inspires respect from others. Confidence grows from preparation. When you dedicate yourself to your craft, when you practice relentlessly, when you take time to learn and improve, you naturally begin to feel secure in your ability. That security translates into confidence. Think of the speaker who has practiced their words 100 times before stepping on stage, the athlete who has trained for years before the championship, the leader who has studied every angle of a decision before presenting it. Their confidence comes not from arrogance, but from readiness. Preparation builds confidence, and confidence commands respect. But confidence is also a choice. It is the decision to stop hiding, to stop apologizing for existing, to stop waiting for permission. Many people hold themselves back because they fear what others will think. They tone down their voices, shrink their dreams, and hide their talents in order to avoid criticism. But the irony is that people rarely respect those who play small. Respect is given to those who dare to stand tall, even when it makes others uncomfortable. When you own who you are, flaws and all, you show others that you do not need approval to validate your worth. That independence is powerful, and people respond to it with admiration. Confidence also shows up in the way you handle setbacks. Anyone can smile when things are easy, but true confidence is revealed in the storm. When challenges come, the confident person does not panic or collapse. They may feel the weight of the struggle, but they stand steady. They look for solutions instead of excuses. They keep their composure, even under pressure. That ability to remain grounded when everything around you is shaking makes others trust you, respect you, and even follow you. People respect strength, and nothing shows strength more clearly than calm confidence in difficult times. One of the greatest powers of confidence is that it gives others permission to respect you. People often treat you according to the way you treat yourself. If you carry yourself like someone unworthy, you will be treated as such. If you hesitate to speak, if you avoid eye contact, if you apologize for taking up space, people subconsciously begin to believe you do not deserve much. But if you stand tall, if you speak with conviction, if you occupy your space with dignity, you signal that you expect respect, and they respond to that signal. Confidence teaches others how to approach you. Confidence does not mean perfection. In fact, confident people are often the first to admit their imperfections. They don't pretend to know everything. They don't need to act flawless to feel valuable. They embrace their humanity, and in doing so, they show authenticity. Authenticity is deeply respected because it is rare. So many people hide behind masks, trying to be what others want them to be, that when someone is unapologetically themselves, it feels refreshing. Confidence in your imperfections tells the world, I am worthy as I am. That kind of honesty disarms critics and inspires respect from even the harshest observers. Confidence is also expressed in silence. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is to remain calm when others are loud, to remain composed when others are agitated, to remain grounded when others are unstable. Silence backed by confidence is not weakness, it is strength under control. It shows that you do not need to fight for attention, that your worth is not tied to being the loudest voice. People respect those who do not scramble to prove themselves, because they see that such a person already knows their value. Confidence attracts opportunities that insecurity repels. When you carry yourself with assurance, people want to work with you, to invest in you, to follow your leadership. They feel safe around you because confidence communicates reliability. In relationships, confidence builds trust. In careers, it opens doors. In friendships, it deepens bonds. Wherever confidence goes, respect follows close behind. The absence of confidence, on the other hand, invites mistreatment. When you doubt yourself constantly, when you lower your standards, when you tolerate disrespect because you fear being alone, you teach people that they can get away with giving you less. That is why confidence is not optional, it is essential. It is not simply about how you feel inside, but about the quality of relationships and opportunities you allow into your life. Without confidence, you accept crumbs. With confidence, you demand and receive the feast. Confidence must also be nurtured daily. It is not a one-time decision, but a continuous practice. You build it every time you keep a promise to yourself, every time you take action despite fear, every time you choose authenticity over approval. Each small victory strengthens your belief in yourself, and over time, those beliefs become unshakable. Confidence is not built overnight, but it compounds, growing stronger with every act of courage. There will always be critics. Confidence does not mean everyone will like you or approve of you. But here is the secret. Confidence makes you realize you don't need them to. The respect you command is not dependent on universal approval. It comes from living in alignment with your values, from walking your path with conviction, and from refusing to let the opinions of others dictate your self-worth. People may disagree with you, but they will respect your strength to stand firm. Confidence also changes the way you love and allow yourself to be loved. When you lack confidence, you settle for less than you deserve, you tolerate neglect, you accept inconsistency. But when you have confidence, you set a higher standard. You no longer need someone to complete you. You invite someone to compliment you. You are not afraid to walk away from relationships that do not honor your worth, because you know your value does not diminish in solitude. That kind of strength commands respect not only from others but from yourself. Ultimately, confidence is freedom. It frees you from the chains of comparison, from the prison of people, pleasing, from the weight of constant doubt. It allows you to live fully, to chase dreams boldly, and to carry yourself with the grace of someone who knows they are worthy. Respect flows naturally to those who are free within themselves, because freedom is magnetic, and people admire what they wish they had the courage to embody. So stand tall, speak clearly, walk with purpose, believe in your own value even when no one else does, because the moment you choose confidence, you begin to shape how the world responds to you. And when you carry yourself with that kind of belief, when you embody quiet strength and unshakable assurance, respect is not something you chase. It becomes something you attract effortlessly. Investing in yourself is the most powerful decision you can ever make. It is the foundation upon which everything else in life is built. Before you can expect respect, love, success, or recognition from others, you must first pour into your own growth, your own strength, and your own worth. Too many people wait for the world to hand them validation before they give themselves permission to rise. But the truth is that everything you are seeking begins with how much you are willing to invest in who you are becoming. When you treat yourself as a priority, you begin to change the way the world treats you. The energy you radiate is a reflection of the energy you give yourself. If you neglect your dreams, your body, your mind, your soul, you send a silent message that you do not see yourself as valuable. But when you take care of your health, when you study, when you build your skills, when you speak words of encouragement to yourself, you declare to the universe that you are worth the investment. And once you believe it, others cannot help but follow that belief. Investing in yourself is not selfish, it is necessary. You cannot pour from an empty cup. You cannot give love if you are drained of self-love. You cannot inspire others if you yourself are uninspired. You cannot lead with strength if you are weak within. That is why the first step to commanding respect, to achieving dreams, to living with purpose, is to invest in your own growth and well-being. It is not about putting yourself above others. It is about filling yourself so fully that you overflow into the lives of those around you. When you invest in yourself, you sharpen your mind. Knowledge is one of the greatest investments you can ever make. Books, courses, experiences, mentors, all of these expand your perspective and give you tools that no one can take away from you. Money can come and go, possessions can be lost, but what you learn becomes a part of you forever. Every skill you develop, every lesson you absorb, every bit of wisdom you apply increases your value in ways that ripple through your life for years to come. People respect those who are knowledgeable, who are capable, who continuously strive to be better than they were yesterday. But the investment is not only in knowledge, it is also in your physical and emotional health. When you treat your body like a temple, when you nurture it with care, you show respect for yourself. You communicate that you value your own well-being, and others recognize that discipline. The way you walk, the energy you carry, the confidence in your movements all stem from how well you have cared for yourself. When you neglect your health, you limit your ability to perform, to shine, to live fully. But when you invest in caring for yourself, you radiate vitality and people notice. They see that you take yourself seriously, and they begin to take you seriously too. Emotional investment is equally important. You must feed your soul with positivity, with self-compassion, with forgiveness. Too often people drown in negativity, holding on to past mistakes, replaying doubts in their minds, carrying the weight of what others have said. But investing in yourself means choosing to protect your energy. It means setting boundaries with people who drain you. It means speaking to yourself with kindness instead of criticism. It means surrounding yourself with those who uplift you instead of those who break you down. Respect begins internally, and when you respect your emotional well-being enough to guard it, you set a standard for how others should treat you. Investing in yourself also means dedicating time to your dreams, even when no one else believes in them. It means practicing your craft late into the night, working on your goals when others are distracted, and giving your vision the focus it deserves. The world often underestimates those who dare to dream big, but when you show relentless commitment to your own growth, eventually the results speak louder than doubt. Every hour you spend developing your skills is an investment that compounds over time. In one day, that investment transforms into undeniable excellence, the kind that cannot be ignored. There will be sacrifices. To invest in yourself means you will have to say no to temporary pleasures for the sake of long-term gain. You may have to decline invitations, cut back on distractions, or distance yourself from people who do not support your growth. And while this may feel lonely at times, it is a sacred act of self-respect. Because you are saying, my future matters, my dreams matter, my growth matters. Sacrifice is not loss. It is preparation for the abundance that comes when you have built yourself strong enough to carry it. Self-investment is also about believing that you deserve good things. Too many people hold themselves back because they think they are unworthy of love, success, or happiness. They wait for someone else to give them permission to rise. But no one can hand you worth. Worth is something you declare for yourself. When you invest in your growth, you affirm that you are worthy of the effort. You prove to yourself that you deserve the best, not because someone else said so, but because you believe it deeply. That belief is what makes others believe in you too. There will be voices that try to discourage you. Some will call you selfish for putting yourself first. Others will criticize your ambition, your confidence, your commitment to your dreams. But those voices do not pay the price for your choices. You do, and that is why your investment in yourself must be stronger than the noise of others. The respect you earn in life will come not from pleasing everyone, but from honoring yourself enough to pursue the path that feels right for you. Investing in yourself also requires patience. Growth takes time. Progress is not always visible in the beginning. Just like planting a seed, the effort may feel invisible for a season. You water it, you nurture it, and for a while, nothing seems to change. But underneath the surface, roots are forming, strength is building, and eventually, the seed breaks through the soil and reaches for the sky. That is how self-investment works. You may not see the results immediately, but every effort compounds until one day the transformation is undeniable. It is also important to remember that investing in yourself is not about becoming someone else. It is about becoming the best version of yourself. Comparison steals joy and blinds you from recognizing your own value. You do not need to look like anyone else, sound like anyone else, or live like anyone else. You need to nurture the gifts that are uniquely yours. Investing in yourself means honoring your individuality, developing your strengths, and embracing your own path without apology. That kind of authenticity commands respect because it shows courage, the courage to be exactly who you are meant to be. And as you invest in yourself, you begin to notice something powerful. The world adjusts around you. Opportunities that once seemed out of reach begin to appear. People who once overlooked you begin to take notice. Relationships shift, careers expand, doors open. This is not luck. It is the natural result of the energy you have put into yourself. When you value yourself highly, you attract people and opportunities that align with that value. The standard you set for yourself becomes the standard that others must meet to be in your life. Self-investment is an ongoing journey. It is not something you do once and forget. It is a lifelong commitment to growth, to learning, to improvement. There will be seasons of acceleration and seasons of stillness, times of great breakthrough and times of quiet preparation. But through it all, the decision to keep pouring into yourself ensures that you are always moving forward, always becoming stronger, always elevating your worth. The truth is simple. The way you treat yourself teaches others how to treat you. If you neglect yourself, others will neglect you. If you disrespect yourself, others will follow that example. But if you treat yourself like royalty, if you invest in your growth, your dreams, your well-being, you send a message that you are valuable beyond measure. And that message will echo in every corner of your life, attracting people, opportunities, and experiences that honor your worth.